and welcome to the Serenity Solutions podcast, episode number 47. Still can't believe I've done that many episodes. I've taken a bit of a hiatus here, kind of been in fight or flight mode, to be honest. The counselor has needed a counselor, although I tend to lean on my pets for that, and that's part of what's happening right now for me. My cat had to have an emergency surgery over the break, and it just brought up so much. It brings up a lot of anticipatory grief for him, and it also brings up like post-traumatic stress disorder, and with these animals that mean the world to me, and I do everything for them, and they're like definitely like my children, that I don't have human children. So they definitely get the best of me, and they deal with the worst of me, and they provide the support, the most support that I receive. I find as a counselor, I need like help from somebody that has more experience than I. If it's going to be from humans, there's definitely people who inspire me and make me happy, but a lot that tend to disappoint me as well. So if I'm going to get some help, I need to get that from someone that has many more years of experience, and like counselor, psychologist, someone like that. And just so you know, it is normal, and I haven't done that recently, but it is highly recommended and pretty much enforced in our field to have our source of support, so that we can empty our, get rid of our thoughts and then be fresh for the next client. And that is taught in our program with the Masters of Counseling and Self-Care. And this is all relates to what I'm going to talk about today, which is anticipatory grief. And it actually, doing a quick research, which I think I already know these things, but we all need reminders, right? The best ways to deal with anticipatory grief is to stay in the present moment. Remind yourself, is my pet happy, comfortable, safe right now? Or my person, my father, my mother, my friend, my kid, whoever it is that you're experiencing this with, just appreciating what's happening in the moment, staying in the moment as much as possible, engaging in nature therapy and animal-assisted therapy definitely is helpful. It's tough when you're in the midst of this and your animal provides that support for you, and that's the animal that's so sick. But they still somehow, they never cease to amaze me how powerful their love and resilience is when they're going through like the worst of things. It's just amazing to see, and it makes me emotional, as you can probably tell. But I've got 3, so I've got others to lean on. But during this time, my working line dog has increased his needs of getting out, needing attention. He's been quite anxious because he cares so much about his cat brother. And then my other little cat, my female cat, she's kind of taken space. She sleeps on me every night, so she helps me in that regard and comforts me. But she's being a little mean to my male cat, that is the one that went through 2 crazy life-saving procedures over this March break. One, he had a urinary obstruction, so he needed a catheter placed to relieve that. I figured that would be the case because he's had this happen twice in his life before. So this is the third time. Unfortunately, cats who block do have a chance of blocking again. And stress, food changes, anything like that can throw them off quite easily, unfortunately. So it's been a lifelong 14 years of, well, he's 14, the first blockage happened at 3, so, 14 minus 3, and so, quite a few years of 11 years of worrying about this emergency situation, and not being able to leave him for long, and making sure whoever looks after him has the instructions. You need to take him to emergency if this happens. And as he's gotten older, he's gotten, I'm used to what to look for. But it is super scary, and you can't leave them for long because it's life-threatening situation. So I'm not exaggerating when I say it's an emergency. And then after the obstruction is removed, the last 2 times he's needed bladder stone removal surgery as well to prevent it from happening again. And this last time he didn't have actual big stones in there, more like gritty sand that is likely forming that blockage, starting to form. So I did catch it quicker this time, which is nice. But he's also 2 years older than when it happened last time. It's crazy how much food pH balance really affects. I was giving him some liver treats, raw freeze-dried liver treats, and I did move furniture around, so those 2 things may have resulted in this. But yeah, it's crazy how little treats, maybe a few a day, can throw that prescription food balance off. But I've learned my lesson. And he's the biggest foodie in the house, so it's really hard because he wants the end of my yogurt, or he wants the end of my protein shake, or he wants a treat every time the dog gets a treat. So it's okay, this is tough. But I got some urinary care treats for him. And I don't love the diet, but I know that it's needed. And when I've changed his diet to this prescription food in the past, it always works. It's just I didn't know that those little treats would throw something off. And it's not exactly, I'm pretty sure it's the reason, but maybe that mixed with stress in the house are the reason that happened. Now, it hasn't been easy. We've been getting up, every 3 hours or so. And I check the litter box, make sure he's peed, clean the litter box. There was a time he didn't have an appetite after this, which was quite normal a couple of days after surgery, but concerning. And then he also has an underlying heart disease now. And I was told that right before he went under, and that he's a 95-year-old going in for surgery with an underlying heart disease. So if that's not enough to scare you, I don't know what is. As a mother who loves him more than anything, and he's been with me through the craziest times in my life. So, and he has known my last dog, who went through quite an ordeal, over 2 years of lymphoma, so chemotherapy, Chinese herbs, CBD oil, acupuncture, all the things I did for her. She was still young when she got that, and then now she has a new doggy, who's now 7, and another cat that has come along. So he's been through, he's been with me through all these animals and tragedies of losing my father tragically, and then And then the anticipatory grief of my last dog, and because that was over a 2-year experience right after I had lost my dad, and it was hell. And then losing my dog. So yeah, and then, normal life stresses and situations, and I think there's an eagle flying right out above the house here. They always come around when I'm doing these podcasts. I am outside in the hot tub. Yeah, I normally would take a video, but if I take a video, this will stop. So, anyways, so I have some experience with anticipatory grief. Oh, there's 2. Maybe those are the ravens. With animals, and humans. And once you lose people and animals that mean the world to you, it comes back pretty quickly, and if you're listening and you know this feeling, when you've lost somebody so important, that grief and that post-traumatic, if there was post-traumatic stress happening in this situation, which generally, well, if it's a tragic sudden death, that's likely involved, and depending on the situation, you likely encountered some trauma, and then also, I think when you're watching someone die slowly, that's also very hard, very difficult too. So it's hard to know. It's never a fun situation. So yeah, I wanted to focus on anticipatory grief today. And I'm finally in the right mindset because I was able to take Maverick's cone off today, and he's doing great. He's so happy. It's like night and day with that cone off. Seems to be calming, going to his regular spot at the back of the chair. He's actually been comforting himself in my dog's bed, and my lovely dog has given up his bed for a week and a half or so. And he's quite happy to have it back, but he's also quite generous and caring and loving, and he seems calmer today because Maverick's happier, safer, healthier, and I'm happier and feeling lighter that he's happy. And then so it all catapults all around the house. The only one that might be off is my little cat, who's hissing at him because he probably smells different right now from being in the hospital. He had at least two nights in the hospital. I think I brought him home early. We went in after midnight Wednesday, so it was actually Thursday morning, and yeah, so overnight, it felt like Wednesday, overnight Thursday, and then he got to come home early because I said I'd be with him and monitor him on Friday evening after he had surgery Friday. So, hasn't been much of a break for me. I've been on nurse duty, but if it was to happen, it's a good time because I was able to be with them as much as possible. So staying present with anticipatory grief is really important because being mindful helps with all types of anxiety, and anxiety is definitely something that's occurring, and it's related to the anticipatory grief, and it's related to the trauma in the past, and it's related to the memories and all the things, and just, his age, he's 14, and knowing, eventually that's going to happen, although manifestation is very helpful, and I find, I told the doctor when she said, he's like a 95-year-old going under, with the underlying heart disease, I said, and the alternative was, he couldn't pee, right? So he had the urethral obstruction, and so they put the catheter and removed that, but like the chances of it happening again if they didn't do this surgery were very high. So the alternative is not doing anything. But if you can't pee, you can't live. Basically, it's life or death. So that's like the kind of decisions I was having to make. And I just said to her, he's a warrior and he's done it before. He's going to do great. And he did. He did great with the surgery. He's healing well. And so manifesting and the affirmations and all the things that I tend to do in my life really do help. And I whisper it to him, not whisper, I say it out loud to him. Actually, I had to go into the hospital to get something. I don't know what I was doing. Oh, paying for it. And, he had just gone upstairs for surgery, and I was like, healing thoughts, healing vibes, and you're going to do amazing. And I talked to him the whole way home in my head, like out loud. And my dog was listening. So, I mean, he's quite aware of my emotions. If you have pets, you know, but, probably didn't, well, I don't know. It might have helped him. Because it was all positive and saying it, you know, you're a warrior, you'll do this, you're going to do amazing, you know, I love you so much and all the things. But like staying positive and doing those affirmations and the mindset work and the manifestations, it's all like, it does seriously do so much. Even with animals, it's like, wow, the amount of times I've tried this with this particular cat, it's crazy because he's always been so strong and resilient, and like he's ready to eat usually when he gets home out of his cage, because he doesn't really like to eat when he's in the hospital, but like he's raring to go. This time he was on meds and he had been through so much. He wasn't as eager to eat, which was concerning, but he's back to it now. And I did actually use a transdermal appetite stimulant on the third day because he should have been eating by then. And that worked really well, and now he's off of it for the second or third day, I think. Yeah, the third day. And he's still eating well and happy to eat and doing his normal things. Another thing that helps with anticipatory grief is familiarity, doing your familiar routine. And then personally, I think mixing it up a bit is also good, like going somewhere new. We went to a nice, oh my God, there's 3 little cute birds eating the grass out here right now. It's so funny how they come and they're comfortable around my dog here. And so we went to a beach that we don't always go to a lot. It was so nice to have the sun shining, and I don't get to stop much with my working line dog. But like I did a couple times yesterday, and it felt so good just to soak in the sun and relax for like a minute or two. He doesn't allow it to happen for long. But he was happy exploring the beach with me, and I just took like those couple moments to soak it all in, because to be honest, this has really stressed me out, you know, financially and the grief thing, and so I get irritated more easily, and so I lose my patience more easily and take it out on him a little bit, just like, come on, like he's just very demanding on a good day, but with this it's been even more because he's anxious, but he's also amazing and an amazing athlete, and that's like where he behaves the best, out when he's running around, getting his energy out, And thank goodness he's amazing in public, because he can be a monkey at home. But he's also a great source of comfort and like absolutely amazing dog. Makes everybody laugh, makes everybody happy. And he does therapy with me, don't you, buddy? Yeah. So, what I'm going to do, hopefully that gives you an idea of what brought this topic up. I'm going to pull some cards, and they're from David Kessler's, Healing Grief cards. Okay, unfortunately he heard me and started barking there, but I'm going to pull some cards. One of them, the first one I'm pulling randomly is a healing card. This is from David Kessler's Healing Grief deck. And hopefully it helps somebody out there that might be going through a similar experience or another type of anticipatory grief. Grief and loss, it all helps. Like I said, staying present, being mindful, doing the nature therapy, animal-assisted therapy, maybe talking it out with loved ones, and doing the things that you love and the things that make you happy in the present moment as well. So, the first healing card is, loss can also be a period of growth. Today, be open to awareness of new growth and changes. Try to say yes to something that comes up in the next week. So, I definitely resonate with that. I've focused a lot on grief and loss in my counseling career, and prior to my counseling career, I did some courses in my first degree at Wilfrid Laurier University, actually, and quite enjoyed the topic. I don't know why. I've more been always wanting to be on the helping side of things, but it's definitely something I've been interested in, and more so after the deep losses that I've had. But you definitely grow through and learn so many things, and the little tedious things in life, or the things that some people may worry about, just become so small when you experience these things, and so you're able to grow exponentially with the experiences you have, and that's a positive. So it says, be open to awareness of new growth and changes. Try to say yes to something that comes up in the next week. So that might be something for me and you to engage in this week. Your response to the loss is the next card. Grief work isn't self-help, it's self-acceptance. Don't try to change yourself. Accept yourself right where you are, as you are today. So accepting yourself, don't try to change yourself, accept yourself right where you are, as you are today. That, for me, is bringing up, like, when people feel, for some reason it's bringing up when people feel guilty about things, and like they could have done something to avoid the loss, and that has come up for me a little bit with this situation because of the treats that I was giving him and changing the furniture around, which I tend to like to do. Every once in a while, I like to clean under things and just change things, and I like to have that change. It's like snowing today, so hope you don't mind the sound of the rain coming down. But yeah, I think I know that guilt and, like it says, don't try to change yourself. So I know that that's a common theme that comes up for people that are going through, there's the snow again, that are going through grief and anticipatory grief. Especially if you feel like you may have been at fault for something. And actually the one vet said, the emergency vet told me, I just don't want you to think it's your fault, because she had mentioned Oh no, you gave him those treats, because I guess freeze-dried raw treats are really not good to give cats that are going through these kind of things. But definitely wasn't his main diet. He was getting his proper food. It's just I didn't know. But hey, no. Oh God, he's digging. I just have my hands full here. Okay, just a sec. Okay, the third response to loss. Eventually I will remember my loved one with more love than pain. I will find compassion and patience today for my temporary pain and permanent love. So this one is after they've passed, and like I mentioned, like I'm definitely going to manifest good things and positive things and healthy. There's a underlying heart disease happening at the moment that I'm not sure what's going on yet, but it could be hyperthyroidism and something that can be helped. He's also 14, so later life for a cat for sure. But they can live a really long life, and I keep saying he's going to live forever, so that's my manifestation. But when it comes to other losses, eventually I will remember my loved one with more love than pain. I will find compassion and patience today for my temporary pain and permanent love. So when you have lost someone or an animal, knowing that it will get easier with time, and that you'll remember them and you'll smile and laugh, which happens a lot with my dad, and find the compassion and patience today for temporary pain and permanent love. So the price of love is so great. Even just with like romantic love or friendship, types of love, it's tough, and, we keep doing it to ourselves, though, even though it can be very tough. And for grief and loss, breakups, separation, divorce, they all fit into this situation. It's a little bit different than what I'm talking about today, but definitely can be heartbreaking as well. And when you go through this stuff, your heart definitely gets affected. Like, it's so crazy, but the anxiety definitely affects your heart. But what it's trying to say here is eventually you'll remember them with more love than pain, which is really nice to hear. All right, I think I'll do, that's number 3. I think I'll do one more, and then I'm going to pull a numerology card because this is getting longer. So your response to loss, all your regrets, the should-haves and what-ifs can imprison you in your pain. What if we had gone to a different hospital? We should have gone to the doctor sooner. Let them go. If you feel you can't stop thinking of the regrets, just repeat several times a day, I'm willing to let go of the should-haves and what-ifs. So again, this is the response to the loss after it happens. But it can also happen in anticipatory grief, as it did in my situation, and still kind of is, because I kind of feel stupid, but there's not a lot I can do about that at this point, other than changing the behaviors and not giving the treats, not moving the furniture around, if that's the reasons. There's maybe underlying things going on too. But I guess that reminds me and hopefully others to just stay in the present moment and know, like, not worrying so much about the should-haves and what-ifs at this point. It does happen after great losses as well. I remember this happening with my dad too, even though it was somebody else's fault, and I was just like, how could I have prevented this from happening? Maybe I could have called him, stayed on the phone longer. Maybe then he wouldn't have been in that situation where he got hit and but like, it tends to happen a lot with different things, and especially like if you have a family member or pet in the hospital, and when you took them there, and what you did, and the meds you gave, and the decisions you made, it all relates. Okay, so I'm going to do that numerology poll now, and this is from Michelle Buchanan's numerology guidance cards, and this is also random. All of this is random. That's how I like to do my podcast and mindfulness and healing, grief, and numerology polls. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards and ask what the collective needs. What do I need right now? What will help in this situation? What's going on for me right now? What is going on for the collective? What do we need to know? What do we need to implement? And then I'm going to choose randomly. By the way, it is kind of snowing still. Not heavily, just a little light snow. Alright, I'm going to count the number down again because I find that interesting. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I chose 10 down from the top. And it's number 5, change. So I'm just going to read what this card means. It's a nice turquoise color. Number 5 isn't really a card, like a number that I resonate with, but it's okay. This card indicates a time of expected and unexpected change, when anything can happen and usually does. By drawing this card, you are being encouraged to think of your life as an adventure in which exciting opportunities could appear at any moment. Rather than fearing the unfamiliar and unknown, you are urged to embrace expansion, movement, and change. This is a time to go with the flow and open yourself to opportunities that will improve your quality of life. Anything is possible, and the wheels are set in motion, so be sure to play your part by moving closer to your dreams. You may be called upon to make changes in your mindset, relationships, residence, lifestyle, or career, wherever a shift is needed to serve your greater good. It is time to broaden your horizons and re-spark your passion for life. In order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are leading you toward a time of movement and change. Procrastination, resistance, and fear only take you out of alignment. So surrender yourself to the opportunities that are about to present themselves. Trust that you're divinely loved and guided, and you'll be shown the way. And the affirmation is, I accept and surrender to the changes that improve my quality of life. Such a relatable card, and to be honest, prior to this podcast today, I haven't really wanted to do a podcast lately because I've been stressed right out, and I keep dropping the cards in the water. Luckily they're resilient cards as well, but I haven't been in the right mindset dealing with all of this, and I'm finally to do a podcast, and I'm finally at a point where I'm like, okay, he's happy, we're safe, we're good, staying in the moment, which, as you probably could hear from this whole podcast, is something I tend to do for the most part. I like to stay in the present moment and stay positive and use the manifesting and the affirmations and do all the things that help. Nature therapy, animal assisted therapy, all the things. But it's really nice to hear that I know I'm being divinely guided right now. And when I was like, okay, should I do a podcast today? I was kind of feeling it. I just went for an 1.5-hour hike prior to this and got the motivation. And yeah, I'm feeling it today, and that's kind of when I tend to do them nowadays, because this is episode 47, so I have 47 of them that you can listen to, And I love that there's been over 600 downloads now. So thank you to those who are listening and for your support. And probably have lots to catch up on if I don't show up one day. But I did. I showed up today, even though I've been going through a lot. I've definitely been going through it. And I'm happy I did, because it always feels good to get this out and also to be vulnerable and to help others in their lives and hardships, and hopefully provides those people that don't want to go to therapy but could use the help, some support. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you have an amazing, calm, cool, serene rest of your day. See you next time.